on this computer. All right, so you have to agree to being recorded. And I appreciate you guys letting me do that. But that way, if anybody missed it, we can just send them a copy and they can experience, what it is to be an agent here. All right. So, go. Hold on. Let's stop sharing for a second. And I want to be in that view. There we go. Okay. And now it is recording. Okay, good. Great. All right. Back to where I was. Back to sharing this screen over here. Partner in crime, Susie. She also plays the role of a market center technology trainer. She wears a lot of hats. Erin Fitzgerald on the screen you see here, she is what we call our assistant market center administrator. She's the one that cuts the checks. We all love her. And then Mary Briner is what we call our productivity coach. She is also one of our instructors for our real estate class that we do offer through that we'll talk about a little later. And then Tom Ross is a designated broker. So you're going to hear broker thrown around a lot. Basically, there are a couple of different types and set types and designations in brokers, but essentially what his role is to help with all the technical contractual broker activities. Whereas I am a managing broker as well. That's not my responsibility in the office. My responsibility is growth and management of the office as a whole. All right. And before I get into that, a little about myself is I've got 16 years of experience in selling real estate. I run a successful real estate team on the East Side called the East Side Real Estate Team. You're welcome to look that up. And I would encourage you, if you don't have a notepad in front of you, to write some notes down. I am going to give you some things that you won't get anywhere else tonight. And it is along the lines of how to make 6 figures in your first year. So if you want to look up the Eastside Real Estate Team, want to look up Dan Edwards Realtor to kind of just see my experience in the marketplace, to see if I come from a position of authority. I really love real estate. And one of the questions that we get on this seminar is, why are we hiring? Why are we looking for people to come on board? And so I'll jump out right out of the gate and tell you, it has been my experience that helping folks buy and sell real estate has been life-changing for me. It has provided for my family. It has allowed me to give back in the community. And it has also allowed me growth, not only personal growth, but professional growth, to where I am now in a leadership position. And so we're doing this because we know there are people out there that are looking for that pathway, right? To be able to either A, provide for their family or do more. So that's why we're hiring, and that's why we're looking for talented people that are looking forward to stepping into this opportunity with us and help usher them through it. About our office. So our office is one of 7 offices across the Puget Sound area. And we are a part of the Ben Kinney Companies. In the top hand corner, you'll see Ben Kinney Companies, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we're also part of the larger firm called Keller Williams. Keller Williams, we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But our mission is delivering the dream of home ownership everywhere through sales, brokerages, training, and technology, mortgage, coaching, title, and escrow. And our vision is to win, make, and give, and the good that we can do. So by delivering on our mission, our vision will become inevitable. As we win in business, we make more money, we give generously, and do more good in the communities that we serve. And then the values that we hold is the success of our business will be determined by our ability to maintain our health. And our health is hard work, extraordinary results, accountable in all things, leaders only, teamwork, and being humble. So those are kind of the mission, visions, and values that surround this organization. And we're looking for people that match that mission, vision, and values. All right, so here's the number one question I have for you. Why are you getting into real estate? Now I'm going to push this poll up here. I'm going to launch this poll, and I'm hoping everybody can answer. Just answer one time on this poll, and we'll get a little survey from the audience, if you will, of why you're getting in real estate. Okay, you got a few more seconds here, about 5 more seconds. All right, we got everybody voting. All right, a little bit more. There we go. Very good. Okay, and let's end the poll and share the results. Okay, so take a look. Does everybody see that on their screen? Okay, so the number one, it looks like it was a hot tie between income potential and wanting to be their own boss. And then in third was that they love houses and a flexible work schedule. Now, was there any choice that wasn't on that list that you'd like to share with us today, why you would like to be in real estate? Nope.
For me personally, it's building like a legacy for like my family, and then also giving back to my community, like really making a difference, not only for me personally, but those around me.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Love it. Lalit, were you going to say something? Oh, shoot. We can't quite hear you. It shows that you're not muted, but it doesn't seem to be coming through. Nope, we can't. Maybe try unplugging, see if that helps. Okay, you keep working on that, Susie. Maybe you can help them. Did anybody else have something that they wanted to share?
I do. I have
Okay,
yeah, I have some longer term goals in regard to property management that I'd really like to see come to fruition in the future. So real estate is the foot in the door, if you will.
Awesome. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things, and I teach classes from beginner classes all the way up to the advanced classes on real estate. And I got to say that as we get into the 6 points that we'll talk about how to earn six figures, why you're in real estate is probably the most important question, right? And actually digging to something that you can emotionally connect to will help you through the hard times, because it's not always just fun and games. There's definitely a lot of hard work in this business and a lot of frustration that can happen. I mean, I can tell you, I've been through the crash in 2008 and 9 and had to hold on for dear life, and it was tough. But when you have a strong enough why, the how and the what takes care of itself. So let's talk about Keller Williams. Show of hands, you can just raise your hand there directly. Who has heard of Keller Williams before? Okay, and I'm going to assume Ivan has too, even though I can't see him. I'm just going to assume he has too. All right, so Keller Williams, founded in '83 by Joe Keller, largest real estate franchise in the world. We were just named #1 in agent count, volume, and units in 2021. Now we had held that in 2020. We held it in 2019. We've had it every year since I want to say 2018. It is the most prolific real estate firm. We actually sell the most luxury across the United States. There's a lot of great things that are happening, and our technology is by far leading edge technology in the industry. Some wins about Keller Williams: happiest place to work, been on the Forbes #6 of customers of the best place for women. Training magazine, it's like in the top 10 Hall of Fame. So, I mean, there's hands down, there is no better, and every brokerage will tell you there is no better brokerage to go to than Keller Williams for training. 100%, there is no better. All right, so I mentioned Ben Kinney Companies, and who's this Ben Kinney? Does anybody on this webinar, does anybody know who Ben Kinney is or heard of Ben Kinney before? No. If you're in the real estate world, you probably have, but if you're not, you're right. You may have heard his commercial. That's probably about it, because he does do a lot of advertising. So Ben Kinney started a few years before I did. He was actually a cable salesman. So he went door to door selling cable, right? Who's selling windows, right? Josh, you're selling windows and doors, right?
That's right.
So he was pretty successful in that business and bought a house. And his real estate agent said, you know, I think you need to get your real estate license. So he got his real estate license and quickly became one of the top agents out of the Bellingham office. And then he used a framework that is provided. Susie, do you got your MREA book there handy? Yeah, there it is. It's called The Millionaire. It's hard to see because she's blurring her screen, but Millionaire Real Estate book. He used the framework from that book to create a business out of his real estate career. So he created a business out of that career and became one of the top businesses selling real estate in the Northwest. From there, he then bought the original brokerage that he was out of, and that's the Bellingham office, and then proceeded to buy 7 more brokerages and expand that team. I believe they're in, that team is actually in 10 different states. Also own a part of the UK brokerage. He helped develop some technology that we use in real estate. It's a customer relationship management software plus an advertising piece and transaction coordination product. Also have a mortgage and title and escrow business. And every year it always gives back. So we just recently, and we'll talk about the culture of Keller Williams, but we recently had a day of service. And as a prelude to that day of service, we went out raising funds for the local food bank. Ben matched every donation that we did. We don't have the numbers in yet. Susie, we were talking about that today. I'd love to find out what the numbers were, but every agent in our office went out and talked to all of the people that they know and said, hey, if you can donate food, great. If you can donate funds, here you go. So it's pretty awesome. So it's really great to have a leader that basically exemplifies some of the reasons, like Anna say, like you said, why you want to be in real estate is to give back to the community. So it helps us as individuals in that organization have the vision of where we should be heading, right? When they practice what they preach, it really is inspiring and it inspires others. All right, so we've talked a little bit about how to earn 100,000 in your first year, and this is a Real Trends report which ranks real estate brokerages across the United States. And Keller Williams takes the top 6 of the top 10 spots. So if we know how to earn in real estate, this is, I mean, if you don't learn from us, you're not learning from the best, right? Does that make sense? All right. Okay. So this is what you're going to want to write down. So how to earn 100,000 in your first year. Step number 1, start with a why. Now we talked about that a little bit. It really does come down to actually kind of, a lot of people get focused on what and how, like what am I going to sell and how much am I going to have to sell? But it doesn't really get you through without having a clear why that you can actually emotionally connect to. So as I was telling you, how it has changed my life, I can kind of feel the emotion in my own self of how excited I was to raise my kids in my house and in the home that I purchased. And you know, we lived in it for many years before finally being able to afford to do a remodel. And then we did another one, and then we did another one. And we just recently sold that house, and it's the house that my kids grew up in. But how life-changing it has been to live, just to live in that house. Like, forget about the fact that I sell real estate. And that connection right there is what we do. That connection. It's why people are so adamant about owning a home, is because they need that place to call their home. They need the place to go home from a long day of work, sit and relax, and not hear their neighbor banging on their drums next door. You know, they need their home so they can go out in the garden, right, and plant some tomatoes that'll never grow in the Northwest. But anyways, you know, that kind of thing. But if you don't start by really like thinking on connecting your why, your emotional why, then any amount of activity you do will be in vain. So write that down. The second thing that you can do to get yourself on that path to $100,000 is assemble your influencers. I got to tell you, this is the #1 thing that most agents that wash out never, ever do. And I actually changed the name because we call it sphere of influence. But in today's world, you guys know what I mean when I mean influencers, right? That Instagram influencer, the TikTok one, all that. Well, why are those people making money off of these platforms? They're making money off these platforms because they can connect the consumer, right, to the product, okay? So you actually have to assemble those people that become your best advocate, and you need to do this now, right? As you are taking a test, as you are doing this, you need to take out your iPhone and you need to organize. Who are your people? Who are the people that care most about you and your success? And guess what? You need to find more of them. You need to find 250 people who know you or you know. And that right now, that is like the #1 most important reason why people wash out of the business. They do not come in enough contact with enough people that can influence those individuals' choices, right? So many people they're looking for buyers and sellers. They're not, that's not the point. The point is you convince the influencers that you're the real estate agent of choice for X neighborhood. You're the real estate agent choice for first-time home buyers. You're the real estate agent of choice for move-up buyers. If you don't start assembling that now, you'll be behind. And guess what? This doesn't cost you anything. It's just meeting people. It's just meeting people and getting to know them and caring about them, because that's how you're going to affect the community, right? You don't affect the community by not helping people or knowing people. It just doesn't work that way. All right.
Yeah, and Dan, it's not
Yes.
just our names and phone numbers. I mean, and it can be the person you go to get your haircut, you know, your kid's teacher. That doesn't seem like somebody that you need to have in a database or in your sphere or in your influencers, but it absolutely could be. And why not?
Yep. Yeah. Hairdressers are great influencers. They talk to everybody. Yeah. All right. Number 3, write this down. Get niche. Okay. I couldn't think of any other way to say it, but get niche. So as you are taking on this journey, what you're learning in real estate school is very different than what you do on a regular basis in real estate. So getting niche means I want to focus on this neighborhood. I want to focus on this location. I run a team called the East Side Real Estate Team. Our niche is what?
East Side.
The East Side, right? It's specific. It's big and specific, but it's perfect. That's our niche. People are moving from Seattle. They come to the East Side. They look for somebody that's an East Side specialist. So find your niche, find your location. There are groups for luxury at Keller Williams. There are groups for sports and entertainment at Keller Williams. There are groups that service military, right? Relocation to the naval bases, army bases, military bases all across the place. So think about where you'd like to spend your time. And it can be as simple as first-time home buyers. It could be as simple as first-time home sellers. It could be as simple as Briarwood neighborhood. My neighborhood that I live in is Pine Lake, right? It can be that simple, but start. And what's going to come from that is once you become an expert in that niche, now go to another niche. You're going to stack that talent on top of each other. All right. Number 4, rule your time or your time will rule you. Now, most of you came to this webinar with a job of something that's providing and putting food on the table. And you know right now it's not enough to get you to your why. Am I right? Yes or yes? Yes. So to get where you need to go, you have got to do something extraordinary, and that is control your calendar. Susie knows in my office, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't happen. Nope.
It doesn't exist. Now, here's the challenge is being somebody that's going from one industry to the next, especially one in real estate where you're not getting a paycheck. It's contract. You guys know that, right? It's contractual. Okay. So you're not going to get paid for your time. So you've got to figure out a way to control your calendar so that you allocate enough time up front for the activities that you need to do. Like we talked about assembling your influencers, looking at houses, showing clients, all while you're working your other job. Because I don't know about you, but I like food with my meals. And so when I transitioned over, I was getting paid for my job and I was working another 40 hours doing real estate activities. And the way you do that is you put it on your calendar. You put on your calendar and then you treat yourself like the worst boss ever. You hold yourself to your schedule. If you don't do that, you won't make any money. If you don't allocate the time, you won't make any money. The way I did it is how I studied for real estate. I worked my job and then in the evenings, I had 3 hours to do real estate school. And when I was done with my real estate school, that was my real estate activities. And then I scheduled on Saturdays, 10 to 2 for showing houses. Sundays, I wanted to do church in the morning, and then I did 2 to 5. And that was what my schedule looked like until I was able to start earning enough money to stop with my other job and move forward. So rule your time or it's going to rule you. Just so you know, everybody has the same amount of hours in the day. Nobody has any more. Some are just better at controlling their time, organizing their time. All right. Number 5, become an expert. Now, how do you do that? Well, there's a lot of ways. YouTube's got a ton of stuff on there, but becoming an expert in real estate can mean a lot of different things. And to begin with, it's probably going to need to be the market. You need to become a student of the market. What is happening with inventory? And listen, I got a D in economics in my high school, and I only took it because I had to. And I understand supply and demand. That was the only thing after they got past supply and demand. I don't know what the heck they were talking about. But supply, demand, that's real estate. The reason why we're in a hot market is supply is low, demand is high. But at the same time, you can watch these trends over time, and then you can do a little video about how, oh, here's what we're seeing in my local neighborhood, right? Getting niche and become an expert. Once you learn one skill, you can move to the next one. Become an expert on first-time home buyers. Move on over to listings. Become an expert on Briarwood neighborhood. Become an expert on Glenmore neighborhood. Becoming an expert really is going to separate you from all the other new people getting in the business in a market where it is flooded with real estate agents. If you just decide to do this kind of half-ass, people who are experts will blow past you and make more money. Isn't it true? If you had to go to court because you got accused of something, do you want somebody that is making $100 an hour or somebody that makes $500 an hour? If you had the money, which would you choose?
500.
Why?
Because it's better.
He's better. He's more of an expert. Well, we're going to assume that, right? Okay. You never know. Or he's just a really good salesman. No, just kidding. All right. So become an expert. And then finally, the last one to becoming over six figures is to fail often. So many people are afraid of failure that they never, ever get out there. They never try. They don't work at it, and they don't risk anything. For me, I had this mantra that I'm going to show up, pay attention. I'm going to tell the truth, and then I'm going to take a risk every day. I'm going to be courageous and take a risk every day. What's it look like to take a risk in real estate? Call somebody that I would never believe that they would offer me the listing on their house. Call them, ask them for it. Take a risk. What could be the worst thing that could happen?
Say no.
Well, it could be the best thing, Kamar, that could happen.
The best thing is that they'll just say yes, and they'll listen to what you're saying and inquire more, because that may have been on their mind.
Yeah.
So,
the thing is they don't know that you failed 4 more times before you call them, right? And that they happen to be the 5th person you talk to, and they're like, wow, yeah, okay. And I got to tell you that the failure is the road to learning how to be better every day. I'll use a weightlifting analogy, right? Most of the time when you're trying to gain and being able to lift more weights, you lift to failure, right? And then you rest, recuperate, learn, build muscle again, and then you lift again. You lift to failure. And I got to say that I am so successful, you wouldn't believe how many times I've failed. Or wait, I failed so many times, you wouldn't believe how successful I am. Yeah. All right. So those are the six steps. I hope you wrote them down. I don't care what you do. Those will get you anywhere in real estate. They'll get you anywhere in a lot of things. So let's talk a little bit more about our office, the culture, what we have to offer, mentors and masterminds. So it's important for you, once you decide to join our office and you're looking at the growth potential, we've got all kinds of opportunities for mentors and masterminds. We have agent developed courses, a culture of education. We have BK Co leadership program and mastering time and money. We don't just believe in helping you make money. We also help you learn to hang on to more of that money. Here's a little bit more. This is kind of a sample calendar, but I can tell you Monday through Friday, our office has something. On Mondays, we do masterminds, and that's where people get together, agents get together and share their best ideas for productivity. And then on Fridays, we get together and we implement what we've learned. So we put that stuff into work, and it's on the calendar, and there's always something to learn. The problem is there's always something to learn. If you don't master your calendar and all you're doing is learning, but you're not implementing and doing, then you're going to be a great, well-educated person that's making no money. So you got to be able to balance the education that we have to offer with the implementation of what we have to offer. Okay, so marketing is an important aspect of selling real estate. If you are an individual real estate agent, you are also the marketing department. One of the great things about Keller Williams and how we're different from the competition out there is we don't stand in front of you, we stand behind you. Our brand stands behind you. So as you can see on this slide, you've got various teams: Battles Real Estate, Chris Luck Realtor, Live Distinctly, the Eastside Real Estate Team. Keller Williams is in all of those advertisements, but it stands behind the brand. So you can really build your own business. It's not about us, you building Keller Williams. It's about us helping you build a brand and a business. And we do that by sharing the principles encapsulated in the MREA book. Now you want to hold that up since you're not blurred, Susie? There you go. Okay. So Gary Keller wrote this book, and basically what he did is, after many years of having a successful brokerage and seeing successful agents, he said, what are the models and the systems that make these agents so successful? And he put those in this book. So it's the complete framework. When you join our office, you get it. It's like a Bible. Okay. It's like, oh, have you read the MREA today? It's kind of cultish, but forgive us. It is the models and systems that you need in order to build annual passive income. So income is good. Who knows what passive income is?
Income that generates itself over time.
Yeah, it's money that's made while you're sleeping, that it's not direct result of your efforts only, but of the system that you put together. One of the best pieces of passive income is rental properties, right? Which is, Andrew, I think something that you have a vision towards in the future. Rental properties are a tremendous source of wealth, but any business, like the owner of Chick-fil-A, right? He has passive income. He is not out there flipping the chickens or whatever, flipping the birds. That's not right. That's not what they do. Anyways, or flipping the burgers or whatever. So he has people doing that for you. So in that Millionaire Real Estate Agent book are the models and systems that allow you to earn $1 million a year. That's the goal, right? Earn $1 million, and when I say, let me say net $1 million. So it's the models and systems so that when you walk away after taxes, you put $1 million in your bank. So $100,000 is great. And $1 million is better. And with inflation, let's get to billion at some point, I guess. We really do believe in a culture of building wealth. And we talk about that through investment properties, building a team, that's the passive income, an expansion team. This, I believe, is kind of something that many people can take advantage of. If they have put together a value proposition in their team, they can replicate that anywhere in the United States. You can do that with the tools that Keller Williams has to offer. That's called expansion. Leadership, which is what Susie and I do. So there's growth opportunities and wealth opportunities in leadership, and owning a franchise. I have a goal of owning a franchise myself. And then another little nugget that Keller Williams offers every agent day one when they join the office is profit share. Now, I won't go into how profit share is calculated, but half of the profits in every market center are shared back with the agents who help grow that market share. It's just that simple. Nobody else does that. John L. Scott doesn't do it. Windermere doesn't do it. EXP doesn't do it. None of them do a profit share. There's others that do like a revenue share, something different, but none where it's shared back with the agents. Were you going to say something,
Yeah,
Susan?
Dan. Yeah, so it's actually, to own a franchise of Keller Williams, you have to agree to do that, or you don't get the franchise. So you don't get to choose. It's a an honest commitment on the part of the person trying to buy a franchise that they will actually do that. That keeps that ball rolling and keeps it in reinvest.
Thank you, Susie. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so Keller Williams as a whole has shared over $1 billion. Quarter three of 2020, $62 million in profit share. So 28% higher. Essentially, the more profitable we become, the more obviously profit our profit share partners earn. Let me just pause right there. So I covered a lot of things about Keller Williams, about education, about wealth building. Any questions on that? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Sometimes I can just talk forever. And so, yeah. So finally, once you decide to join us, there are 3 different pathways that we can guide you through as an agent working towards profitability. And one is as a solo individual agent. This is the most common concept that most people think when they're joining a real estate organization, that they're going to be a real estate agent. That's a solo agent. Then we have the team. So that is something that I mentioned, how Ben Kinney built his team. They are actively hiring. They're looking for good quality, aggressive individuals. And if it's something you're interested in, we'll have a form for you to fill out to say, hey, I might like to look into that. And when you're licensed and ready to go, we'll make that introduction. And then there's a hybrid between solo and team, and that is coaching. We've got what we call launch coaching, and Mary Briner, who I mentioned in the beginning, is the coach for launch coaching. And she basically will work with you on a high level of accountability to help you assemble those influencers, and then the activity that it takes to get those influencers to start sending you buyers, sellers, investors, and maybe even working with you directly. So it's a higher level of accountability and with a quicker amount of results. So it's optional, but it's another way. I have just always found I don't know about you, Susie, but I found accountability for me super helpful to have somebody I got to meet with and answer to.
Yeah, you're more likely to get it done.
More likely to get it done when you have to report back to somebody. So let's see. So there's more of the education. I'm going to skip over that. Technology. So Keller Williams has been developing the industry leading technology that allows you everything you need. It's like a Swiss Army knife, everything you need to run a large business. Everything from a website to a smartphone app that's branded to you. When the leads sign up, they go into your own customer relationship management software. When they get in contract, they're managed through a professionally managed transaction system. And then when they close, you can continue to market through them. It's the most robust real estate application from a consumer to a close in the industry. And it's part of being part of Keller Williams. Okay, let's skip past that. All right. So we talked about the education. We talked about the technology, and now we're going to talk about the culture. So I had mentioned that we just recently, we should actually update this with slides from our recent Red Day, don't you think? So Red Day is renew, energize, and donate. And every year we take a pause. Last Thursday, we paused and we went ahead and went down to, what's the name of it? Red Barn Field? Is that what it's called?
It's the community
garden.
Yeah.
In Everett, and we help them get it ready for the food bank that has a big acre or so that they're going to be planting food for the food bank. So we went and cleared out all that stuff, and then we raised funds. Like I had mentioned, we raised funds and we raised food. That is really our culture. We love to do fun things together. We get together, we have potlucks at our sales meetings, and really share how to help each other succeed. The cool thing about us is while there's a lot of competition in real estate, that we never find ourselves at odds with sharing how to be successful in our office. Matter of fact, I'm just not going to tolerate that. It's my belief that together everybody achieves more. Yeah, some people are going to be better at grasping techniques and selling stuff. But in my 15-year career, there's only been one time I went head to head with somebody in my office. And I won, but you know, it's not that important. So. Anyhow, so our culture is based around these tenets of our belief system at Keller Williams: win-win or no deal, integrity at all times, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success, which is results through others. So that is our layered belief system. I mentioned about our office. This is the Keller Williams belief system. Okay, that's all the boring stuff. Now let's talk about how you get started. Somebody said they were taking their exam soon. Who was that? Was that you, Kumar?
No, I think that was an ace. It's an ace, right?
Yeah. How do you say it?
Anase.
Anase. It almost sounds like a Korean word. That's kind of cool. I love it. So you're already taking. Who are you taking your classes through?
So I took my classes through Ambition.
I've not heard of that.
And I chose them because I kind of like this. Did my research, but the name, like, I just thought of ambition, and I was like, you know what? it's meant to be.
Perfect. Oh, that's cool. If it sings to you, it works. That's fantastic. So we have, for those of you that haven't started real estate classes, here are the 3 opportunities. The first one is Rockwell. It's self-paced. By far has been around the longest and has the highest marks for graduation and class exam passing. And then the second one we have is Real Estate Agent University. Mary Briner is our instructor, and that is an instructor-led via Zoom, butts in the seat for that, right? So you have to have 90 clock hour classes. And so that one is, you have to be on the Zoom calls. The Rockwell self-paced, they just time you while you're on it. And then the last one is Keller Williams School of Real Estate, and that's presented by Kaplan. And that is a self-paced as well. So those are our 3 options. And I'll talk about the costs associated with those in just one second. So if you haven't already looked into the licensing requirements, you have to be 18 years or older, have a social security number and a high school diploma, complete the 90-hour clock classes, and pass the brokerage exam. So here's some additional costs.
Fingerprints.
Oh,
Fingerprint.
oh, it's right there, fingerprints.
You didn't say it.
Oh, it's just not on this slide. Yes, and you need to pass a background check. You do that every time, and I'm like, what are you doing, Susie? I don't know what you're doing. It's like jazz hands. I was like, cool, okay. So yes, you do have to pass a background check with fingerprints, and then essentially you start school and choose your business. Now let's see. No, I don't. So I will have to talk about these prices. So Rockwell, we have the discount. It's normally $489. If you sign up, we can sign you up with or give you a code to sign up, I think it is, and it's $400. Real Estate Agent University is also $500, but we give a $300 discount, $350 discount. So it's $150 for if you prefer to learn that way. And then the Keller Williams School of Real Estate is normally $300, but we have a discount to give it to you for $0. Okay. Those are the options. Susie, do you have the link for them to sign up?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, great. So
Quick question, could you get it done quick? I mean, well, I know, is it like 90 hours like in total, or could you fast track? Is there potential for fast track, or is it?
So
Risk
the
free.
self-paced ones are probably the best way to fast track it. I'm not gonna lie, I may have been playing video games while I had the browser open as I was answering the questions to help the clock go faster. Maybe. But it's 30 clock hour classes. Oh, this is being recorded. Shoot. Either way, I was there. Okay, I passed this stuff. But yeah, self-paced will allow you to do it at your own time, even if it takes you 8 hours in one day just to do one session, and then you rush through the rest.
Question, Dan.
Yes, sir.
On the
If you mute your phone or turn down the volume on one of the two, it will not echo.
yeah, let me do that. So for the university one where you have an instructor, now is there a certain day? I take it that's all already the class is already done every single day, or is it 2 times a week, or how do you figure out your schedule for that?
Susie?
Oh, I'm not.
She's looking for the link.
Sorry. Yeah, the class for the self-pay or with the instructor, which, some people do learn better that way, but it's Mondays and Wednesdays from 5:30 to 8:30. And I think the next session starts in July. And it's 8-week course. So you would be, over and done in 8 weeks. But if self-paced is something you think you could have the discipline to do, you'd be done before the other one starts.
Yeah. Great question. Thanks, Josh. Other questions? Now, I see Emmanuel, and he's looking very handsome, but I would like to know if you got everything you needed out of this.
Yes, sir. I got everything. Appreciate it.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Did you find that link, or you want me to find it for you? Okay, so let me make sure that's the right link too.
Yeah.
That is an email link, so that's definitely not it.
Yep, it was.
Oh, that's a, yeah, I don't know what that is. That's not the right link.
Da-da-da. Oh, there it is. Okay.
No. Okay,
Excuse me, Dan.
yes,
You mentioned the Kelly Williams class. It's a zero cost dollar.
yes,
Okay, thanks.
yes, that's zero. And I'm actually trying to find, Susie, what I'm trying to find is the Google form for them to sign up for which they would like to do. Let's see, is it this one right here? Let's see, K-score Google form. Real estate. This is, I found it. I found it. Okay.
Some of you may recognize the name Kaplan from like high school SAT and ACT test prep. So they do have a good reputation. We just don't have a great longevity with that program to know. We've had a few students come through, which is outstanding. But yeah.
Okay, so in the chat, if you go ahead and click on the link there, it's going to bring up this form, real estate enrollment form. We just need your first name, preferred name, email, phone number, address, whether you plan on doing full-time, part-time, whether you want to join a team, take the launch coaching or going solo. Not sure is fine too for that one. And then which of this best schooling option best suits your needs. So we have the K-score, which is $299 with our discount, which is 0. Real Estate University, $450 with a $300 discount, so $150, or Rockwell. And then once you fill that out, then Susie will go ahead and reach out to you and get you signed up for whichever option you choose.
Absolutely. And the reason I asked for legal name is because if, we don't want licenses, or the documentation in a nickname.
Quick question, you guys. If I'm unsure on which school option I want to do for now, I mean, I sort of like the university, but at the same time, I'm pretty self-taught, so I can probably go faster. But I just sort of like when an instructor kind of guides me through it. Do I need to choose right now, or can I just choose multiple to see which one fits me best?
I would say, well, obviously the Keller Williams School of Real Estate, which is free, wouldn't hurt to start there. And then,
Right.
we can keep you on the radar for the in-person. And if you're like, yeah, I'm really struggling with that, let's hit the next in-person. And if you get to a spot where you'd like to know that, I mean, it's going to save you the most amount of money rather than picking Rockwell and then being frustrated because you just spent $400. That would be my recommendation.
Another
right,
layer
thank
to
you.
that. Another layer to that, Josh, is that I think that Keller or the Kaplan, as well as I know the Rockwell does, has an upsell, if you will, that you can have access to guided portions, not the entire curriculum course like Mary's would be. But so that's something that, if you
Like
thought you
study
wanted to
guides
have,
and stuff like that, right?
they're actually instructors that they can talk with.
Oh, cool. Through Kaplan.
Yeah. I know that Rockwell has it for sure. And I think Kaplan does.
Okay. Any other questions? Great. Well, listen, I just want to thank everybody for coming. I hope you found this useful, informative. If not, you walked away with 6 points that can help make your life better, your job better, whatever. But thank you very much. Feel free to reach out if you want to come, stop by the office and take a look at things. And Susie will be reaching out to you periodically just to see how things are going. Okay.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
All
Yeah,
right,
and we're
thank
gonna
you.
get Anna say it in that test room with no anxiety. Yeah.